Welcome back. We are here with our family tree recap of our fourth generation of our royal family. That is a mouthful. So we are going to go through generation 4 here and then what has happened so far with generation 5. And if you want any information on the previous generations, those are located in the playlist for each generation. So let's start here. And also this family tree is in the description, a link to the Plum Tree app for this. So let's get started. As you can see here, we started with Queen Cordelia. Then we went on to Queen Eliza, Queen Reliana, and now we have our first king, which is King Gohan. Now, let's go left to right, I guess. So we'll start here with the Kitsune family. Now, Rachel is the Grand Duchess now, and I guess I should preface this by saying that the drama with Generation 4 with Gohan was a conflict between him and his uncle. Now, his uncle left his wife for someone else, and so that is why Rachel sided with Gohan in the spat. So the Kitsune family, despite being related to Leto, sided with Gohan, but we'll get into the details of that in just a second. We have Rachel, who married Quentin Perryton, and they had Deacon, and he married Harper Hyacinth. Now, Harper is pregnant. Actually, pretty much everyone's pregnant right now after the last video, so that's what happened there. We also had Hyro. We'll get to him when we get to the family he married into. And then Nikki. So Nikki was the affair baby, and she, um, we'll get a little more into her, but she ended up living with Luna and being sacrificed because I was testing out a mod where vampires can drain people's blood. So that's what happened there. Then this is Generation 5 right here. Generation 4 was kind of involved in some of the Generation 5 drama, which is why we had some explanation there. We'll get to Octavia when we get to her marriage, but we have Sky, who was Seth and Luna's child. She went to go live with Luna. She is deceased. We have Blaze, who married Simone, who we'll get a little more to later. She caused quite the controversy in the Griffin household, but she did end up marrying Blaze. I mean, good for her. She really hustled in those marriages. And they had Maximiliano, who married Aaliyah, and they have right now Devin. So, our royal family. We have Gohan, Natsu, and Aki were the children there. And Gohan, just scroll in a little bit here. Gohan, let's see, his early life, happy childhood. His parents were killed by an armed robber, and then it was an unhappy childhood. So his uncle, Leto, that was this guy way over here, did end up moving in and taking care of all the monarchy duties because um, he just took that on because everyone was a child at the time. So when he became a teenager, he tried to get some lessons on becoming king, but that just didn't really work out because Leto wanted power and Gohan didn't really have anyone in his corner. He started dating Lorena, who was the one who ended up having the affair baby with Leto. Lorena did have an affair with Leto and then leave Gohan for him because she just wanted to be queen. She didn't really care about anything else. I feel like that happens a lot in this series. Anyway, um, not me and recycled drama. So then blah blah blah. Then as a young adult, he started training with Aki. He joined the military career. He was really building up his support base. We did, like I said, have the Kitsune family supporting him. And he went to the Sylvan Glade and met Octavia. Now, Octavia's backstory here. She was a princess of New Crest, but New Crest is indeed a patriarchy, so she was not in line for the throne. And she didn't really want to deal with any of that BS. So she spent most of her time outdoors. She loves the outdoors. And She ended up meeting Gohan in the Sylvan Glade. The two of them went camping together, had their first woohoo. This was during Leto's big wedding, and Gohan proposed at the Sylvan Glade. I think there's, yeah, I think we're on track here. Yep, proposed at the Sylvan Glade. And Octavia knew that Leto wasn't going to give up his power, and she kind of knew that Gohan wasn't going to like kill his uncle. So what she did was she tattletaled to Luna. And if you don't remember, Luna is the vampire that granted them this kingdom. So she's super powerful, super scary, and does not like it when you don't follow her rules. So she found out that they were not following the rules, which was that the heir must have Cordelia's eyes. And Leto does not. So she found out they broke the rules. So she came, she killed Leto and Lorena, and she took Nikki. So that's kind of what happened there at this like big event. It was super dramatic. I loved it. And then she told Gohan to get it together, and if it happens again, she's gonna take away the kingdom. So they had a coronation party, they got married, and honeymooned at Cordelia's secret cottage in Henford on Bagley, and they got pregnant during the honeymoon. Now, one of the other things that happened, Aki, who we'll get to in detail a little later, but Aki came to Gohan to tell him that she had found out about an alien kingdom when she was visiting Sixum. And so they went to Oasis Springs and met the alien king and queen and created an alliance. He really wanted his sister to be able to like have alien connections. So that's that. He reached the top of the military career and completed the military hero aspiration. And they went on lots of vacation, including the total dumpster fire that was the trip to Selva Dorada. He renewed his vows with Octavia and watched his son got married before passing away of old age. Whoa, that is a lot. I know. So Octavia basically has the same second half of her life because they spent a lot of time together, except she completed some wellness aspirations. So she is going to live quite a while longer. And so she's a widow now, but I think she's going to enjoy being a grandma because Gabriel and Farah are pregnant. So Gabriel had a really great childhood, not anything like Gohan's. His parents were, there. Um, and then as a teenager, okay, well, he hasn't completed that yet, but pretend that is a thing. I don't know why I wrote it like that. He has lots of hobbies: cooking, fishing, playing the piano. He courted both Farah and Lucille, and he was going to choose one of them to be his queen. And in the end, at the royal ball, he chose Farah, so they were married. Farah, yeah, one of the people he courted, they got married on Love Day. It was great. So that's what's going on there. We'll get to Natsu and Aki into the families that they married into in a minute. So if we go to the Griffin family, which is where some of this other drama happened. Here we go. This is the Griffin family. So just to preface, in Generation 4, Mikhail Griffin Jr. ended up with Simone after some time. They had one child together. And basically what happened was they said that they would join Leto in his fight against Gohan if they agreed to make their affair baby. Well, I guess now they got married, so I guess he became legitimate. But if they let this baby become the Duke over any of the other children that they had together. Oh yeah, it wasn't an affair at all because Terry was killed by Luna for being an idiot. Oh, I forgot about that. Anyway, so yeah, that's what happened there. So they were on Leto's side, but Layla, who actually had dated Simone, which was awkward, um, ended up with Hyro. You remember Hyro Kitsune, and um, her relationship with her father got super strained over the whole thing, and she had a lot of resentment. And her half brother was made the heir over her, and but he was still too young to like rule when the father died. So after Mikhail Jr. died, Simone left for Newcrest, and Layla ended up having to adopt her little half brother and take care of him, which was awkward for everyone involved, but they dealt with it. So she did get to be Duchess for a short time, but she did lose that status from Leto. And they had Lucille. Lucille is their daughter, and Lucille kind of was bitter about the fact that Mikhail the Third was going to inherit over her. She's super beautiful, which I cannot help but mention. And she was courted by Gabriel as well. She really thought that she was going to become queen and that it wouldn't matter that she didn't get this title, but then he did not choose her. So she vowed that her life would amount to more and started plotting. So look forward to that in Gen 5. Mikhail the Third, wow, yeah, the Third, um, you know, was raised by his sister and he married Laurie Lyon. You know what happened to Lorena. She got murdered with Leto. And we have Diane Perryton. The Perryton family is over down the line a little bit. But one of the things that happened was after her husband died. Nope, during her husband's alive, she started an affair with this guy, Howard from Newcrest, and he thought he could be with her, so he killed her husband, which we're going to get more into in a second. But she couldn't give him a title or a child, so he left and married someone else. We'll get to him in a second as well. Then over here, we have some other Newcrest people, Max and Brooklyn, who, yeah, here's Howard again. So Howard was like, this isn't working with Diane because he wanted a title and everything. So then he married Lucy instead, and they had a daughter, Nora. Now, the Siren drama, we had Sonny Siren, who was the heir to the duchy. He liked that Natsu and Aki fought over him. These are the two princesses that were Gohan's sisters. And he had a physical relationship with Natsu and not with Aki, but they did have a romance bar. And Aki asked him to officially be her boyfriend, so he said, "Okay, that's fine." But then Natsu got pregnant, so he was forced to marry Natsu. He committed to his wife and child after that when Natsu was kidnapped and killed. Him and Aki, started something up again and then married and had some children. So Natsu, grew up mean, and she was usually mean to her alien sister, and she only went after Sunny because she knew Aki wanted him, and she got pregnant on purpose because she's a jerk, and the sisters became enemies. Big white wedding. Natsu was kidnapped shortly after her child was born, but then Aki came to save her and pay the ransom. So she was so happy about that. And she really thought that that was good. But then Aki was like, haha, you thought, and killed her. So Aki ended up killing her sister for what she had done, from stealing her boyfriend. Everyone in this series is just very violent. I think, let's see, taken away by Natsu. They fought. Aki, trained with Gohan, you remember that, and then planned her revenge. She hired thugs to kidnap Natsu, then rushed to comfort Sunny while Natsu was missing. This was all part of the plan. She gave the kidnappers the money and then killed Natsu and blamed it on the kidnappers. She stayed with Sunny to help out, and then they got back together. So they married and had children. She did go to the castle, go to the rocket ship, and go to Sixum, like we talked about. She was so excited to meet other aliens and found out about the Earth colony, and then had Gohan help her find it and create an alliance. So that's kind of what happened there. So everything worked out for her in the end. She had a great life. She did get with Sunny. He is quite handsome, and his son is the spitting image. Look at him. So Reese is the son of Natsu and Sunny, and he was super easygoing, didn't really have any resentment over the fact that Aki had her children take over his position. I think, what was it? Did Aki maybe say she would? No, I think Gohan just let her do whatever she wanted because he was close to her. Like that was his only sister, his only family member left. So I think when she was like, I want to make my daughter the heir instead, he was like, yeah, okay. So Reese wasn't really fussed about this. He ended up falling in love with Kayla and becoming a duke anyway. So we'll get to him when we see Kayla. Then we have Laurie, who Laurie and Farah were twins. Laurie ended up being a hybrid, and Farah is just a human, I guess, a sim, regular sim. So Laurie ended up with German, and they are expecting as well. Farah, you saw, she is married to Gabriel now. We have Brian, who was killed by his wife's lover before his child became a teen. That is part of the Perryton curse, where no Perryton heir lives to see their children become teens. Sorry, Kayla, that's going to stink for you later. Um, yep, Howard killed him. Okay, so Kayla, her father died, and Howard was super mean and tried to push her out. Like, Howard wanted to have a kid with Diane and then make that kid the heir, but Diane didn't have the title. It was Brian who had the title. So Diane couldn't, like, inherit anything over Brian's blooded children. So, um, her relationship with her mother never really recovered after all that. But Reese is very sweet and, um, kind of thawed her frozen heart a little bit. Quentin, we saw him. Francis and Casey got married. I think Eric got married too, but we'll see him in a second. Sawyer and Dwayne got married, and they had Harper, who we already saw. I'm just skipping you'll see these Sims that are by themselves separately. Stefan and Kaylin Newcrest had Lucy. You saw Lucy. She has a child with Howard. And then Holden and Chelsea had German. Then here's Lila, and Gunnar had Laurie. And yeah, here we go. Van and Kathy, who are in Newcrest, had Aaliyah. I just named all the Newcrest people Newcrest here because I didn't want to think that they were part of our kingdom. Lillian and Eric got married, never had any kids. Same for Isaiah and Christina. And there's Chelsea again. So whew, that is a lot, isn't it? That is the whole family tree. Whoosh, whoosh. Um, it's big, but I tried to pare it down a bit, so most of what's going on now is just over in this section. So hopefully that all goes pretty well. And let's just quickly go over the line of succession before we close out. So right now, of course, scrolling on these big things is hard. We have Gabriel, who is our current king. Now, when they have a child, and if the child has purple eyes, that'll change. I'm banking on the child having purple eyes because both parents do, so there's no reason for it not to. But actually, second in line is Mikhail the Third. So Gabriel ended up being the only kid over here to end up with purple eyes. None of these people did. Or none of these people passed it on either. So we have Mikhail the Third, who is second in line for the throne, and they are actually the only like full-blooded heirs. Then if we go over to not like a fair baby heirs, which include Mikhail and Regina's children, we have actually Farah way down the line there. So Farah is in line for the throne at some point. And then after that, we have German, who is right here, but where is he? Over here somewhere. There he is. So German is actually last. So that's only 4 people, and 2 of them are married, which is a little nerve-wracking to me because if I lose these people, we have no backup plan. Love that for us. But yeah, so that's what we're going with. That is the Generation 4 drama. I really had a lot of fun with it. Let's go back to our royal family here. I really had a lot of fun with it, and um, I hope that you guys enjoyed it as well. And what else? Yeah, I'm excited for Generation 5. I'm excited for Gabriel and Farah's relationship. I'm excited to see what happens with Lucille. You know she's not gone, so that'll be really fun. And I'm actually planning for some big things to happen in Gabriel's lifetime, like whole world wise, not just in our kingdom. So that'll be fun as well. And I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I love doing these little recaps. And, maybe at some point I'll do a bigger, more, varied recap of like everything just at a high level. But for right now, just these little generational levels I think are good. And I'm enjoying it. I think that this is really coming along. I'm having a lot of fun, and I hope that you guys are too. So I will catch you guys in the next one, which will include Gabriel's coronation and the start of him being king and probably his child being born. So this is all very, very exciting, and I will catch you guys then.